What's up, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, and we're back at with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be doing our Week 5 predictions for this week. Last week I went 12-4 again, which I did pretty good. Overall 44-20, which that's pretty good. I give myself a crown for that. So yeah, and ultimately the teams were on a bye. We got the Browns, Chargers, Seahawks, and Bucks. So yeah, at least the bye week is starting right now. So before I get you started with my NFL Week 5 predictions, don't forget to put a thumbs up to the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down in the opinion below to see who you think is going to win Week 5. So anyways, I chose Commanders to win 27-17, and they lost 40-20. Let's see. Let me look at the score. Okay, they lost 40-20. Okay, so good. So now let's get started here. So we got the London game. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored at -5.5. Obviously, this is a game that could definitely go either way. Like I said, Jacksonville is always good in London because we see them won last week and they're coming off a win. And the Bills are definitely coming off a big win against the Dolphins. Now, for this matchup, though, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be close. But I don't think it's going to be a really low-scoring game. Last time when these two teams played, the game was in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville definitely pulled off the upset. But obviously, I got the Bills winning this game because the Bills are at home. They're the more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. And Von Miller should be coming back healthy as well. I just don't have no trust in Jacksonville's defense a little bit. I think their defense is a little bit overrated. Their offense is just a little bit it's just average. They're really not playing at that level if they shouldn't be. Jacksonville's offense hasn't been impressing me for the last couple weeks. And I don't have more trust in the defense. I think Josh Allen and this Bills offense is going to be tough to stop. I think Diggs and Davis is going to put up some numbers here. Knox can put up some numbers here. Kincaid. And especially the O-line for the Bills is playing fantastic. I think the O-line is going to do a good job controlling Jacksonville's defensive line where they can expose the weakness, which is they could be their pass rush. And especially they can expose the weakness, which is their secondary. So I don't think Jacksonville is going to move the ball efficiently really well because how the way the Bills are playing on defense, they're playing with a lot of sound. They're playing with some sound on defense. They're not giving any big plays and all that. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Bills to win this game. I'm going to say 24-17, something like that. So, I'm going to take the Bills to win and the Bills to cover. All right, next game we have the Houston Texans versus Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are favored by they're favored by 1.5. Let me change the spread. I don't know why the line keeps changing every week. Okay, Atlanta's favored by 2. So obviously this is a game right here that can go either way though. Most people are kind of picking the Texans to win because the Texans have been playing really good football right now. I like how the way the offense is stepping up, especially with the receivers that C.J. Stroud has. They're starting to step up like Nico Tyler Collins and Tank Dell. C.J. Stroud is definitely playing amazing right now. Especially the offense is playing really good. The defense is starting to play very good as well. I mean, they got some underrated, they could be under the radar. So, yeah. But obviously, I think this game right here is going to be very interesting to see. But when I look at the Falcons with their defense, I just kind of really feel like that the Texans' defense is a little bit too young, but they're playing better right now. But I'm not really sure they're on a higher level. Because, Falcons really got a really good secondary, though, and a really good pass rush, though. And I think they could definitely get the Texans' offensive issues as well. But I just don't really know if Houston's secondary has, like, the corners to cover Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Matt Collins or Bijan Robinson. Like, I don't really know if the Texans really have the talent on defense to at least, like, contain all those guys. Like Ritter, like we understand there's Ritter, he's not as good and sometimes he makes some mistakes, but I just think that Atlanta, they kind of really have a better defense of the Texans because I think the Texans defense is a lot younger and it's proved, but I don't think it's as good as the Falcons. So I think it will be close, but I'm gonna roll with the Falcons to win this game because they're at home. And I just think they're just a more talented team, despite CJ Stroud being the better quarterback, and also they got the better coaching staff as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons to win, but give me those points with the Texans because I think the Texans are going to try to stay in the game to keep it close, and I think they're going to stay competitive in this game. So, yeah. So, I am going to say that the Falcons win, like, I'm going to say like 27-24, something like that. So, yeah, give me those 2 points with the Falcons. Give me those 2 points with the Texans, but give me the Falcons to win the game. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Detroit Lions. Lions are favored by 10. Now, I know that's a big spread. Now, the spread kind of changed to 9. So, yeah. So, Lions are favored by 9. And, I got the Lions in this game here. Like they're the more complete team. Better coaching for right now. They're at home. Better quarterback, I guess. That's about it. The Panthers stink. Like, the Panthers suck. Like, they don't. Like, I don't really trust Carolina right now because I don't really like how the way Carolina's doing offensively. Offensively, they're not really moving the ball really well. Defensively, they're starting to give up big plays. Like, their pass defense has not playing really good, especially, in the secondaries. And also their defensive line has totally struggled throughout the past 4 weeks, and I don't trust that defense playing good, especially their offense, Yeah, I think you could argue saying that Bryce Young kind of played better than he did the last 2 weeks, but I don't think he's playing great right now. Like the offensive line is atrocious and all that. I think the Lions defense is going to feast on that. I think Aiden Hutchinson is a problem. Especially the Lions pass defense has been playing really good. I think the secondary can find their matches against the Panthers receivers and all that. And the Lions offensive line is really good. Like, they're starting to control defensive lines. Like, it's like playing like the best in football right now. So, yeah. I think the Lions, I think, they're going to do a good job moving the ball against them. They're going to run the ball. Now, Gibbs not going to play in this game, so which that leads to Dave Montgomery, which he had a monster game last week. We can see that happening again. Like, the Panthers secondaries, like I said, is dealing with injuries. Like, we don't know who's going to cover Amon-Ra St. Brown, but now I heard that Amon-Ra St. Brown might not play because he's doubtful. But I feel like Jameson Williamson playing in this game might change the offense, and Reynolds is pretty good, solid, and Will Porter is so good. So Lions got some weapons on offense, and I feel like Jared Goff is going to light up the Panthers secondary. Like, he's going to do enough to throw the ball in the air against the Panthers secondary, which is kind of okay, but not great. So, yeah. So, Lions should get their revenge from last year when they got their asses whooped by Carolina, because remember, this game was in Carolina, and Carolina just ran all over them. But I don't think it's gonna happen again, especially the games in Detroit in the Dome. So yeah, I expect this game. Like I think it could be close, but I don't know. But I expect the Lions to win this game, but I take the Panthers to cover. I'm gonna say like 34 to like 17, something like that. So yeah. All right, next game we have the Tennessee Titans versus Indianapolis Colts. Tennessee's favored by 2.5, I think. So yeah. So obviously this game right here can definitely go either way. Now, as I look at it though, Tennessee, as an underdog, is has them playing at a very good level, but when they're favored in some of their games, they're kind of like not playing up to their level. So that's how I kind of really see about Tennessee, because when you look at some of the games that they have they been playing, like think about it, like you know they beat the Chargers in overtime, and then they lost to the Browns by like 24 points, and then they beat the Bengals by 24 points, and then they just lost to the Saints, by 1. So obviously, I think that game right here. I feel like that game right here. I feel like Tennessee, has been up and down throughout the season, while the Colts, they're starting to you know the Colts, they've been very competitive in some of their games. Shane Steichen's been having some good game plans, and so has Gus Bradley. I mean, I like how the Colts are doing so far. Like, their defense is starting to play very good, and offensively, they're starting to move the football. Anthony Richardson, he's playing really good right now. I mean, he's getting the ball out quick. They're starting to pass the ball. They're making explosive pass plays. I like what the Colts are doing on offense. But I think this game right here is going to be very close and competitive, though. And I think it could go either way. But some people might say the Titans are kind of a different team on the road, and the Colts are kind of a different team with Anthony Richardson because how well and the Colts are playing right now. But obviously, I understand the game's in Indy, but I'm rolling with the Titans here because I just think the Titans are just the more complete team and have the better coaching staff. And also, another reason why I'm picking the Titans to beat the Colts is because I have to see the Colts beat the Titans before I pick the Colts to beat the Titans. Like, I need to see before I believe it. But don't forget, the matchup, is going to be Derrick Henry versus Jonathan Taylor, which is hard to decide who's going to have a better game. But I understand that the Titans' offensive line isn't good, but I was so impressed how the offense played against the Bengals last week. Like, Tannehill outplayed Joe Burrow. The defense is starting to play a lot better, though. They're playing very well right now. Like, I like what they did against the Bengals. They stopped the pass. They didn't give any big plays. They stopped the run. I mean, I like what Tennessee's doing. I think Jonathan Taylor's probably going to be rusty, so I think Titans defense is going to be prepared for that. And I think the Colts, need a real test here on offense and all that, because I think Tennessee's defense matches up well with the Colts. Because I'm saying this is not a good matchup for the Colts because the Colts offensive line, even though it's playing good, I still think it's atrocious. I don't think it's great. So, yeah. So, obviously, I think Tennessee's going to do enough to pass the ball, and I think Colts can do enough here to make explosive plays to keep this game competitive and close. But I got the Titans to win this game. But give me the 2.5 points with the Colts. I think the Colts are going to keep this game close and competitive. So, yeah, I say they will, though. So, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Like, I'm going to say like 2016 or like 23-20, something like that. I think it's going to be a defensive game, a little bit of a defensive game. So, yeah, so give me the Colts plus the 2.5, but give me the Titans to win the game. All right, next game, we have the New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins is favored by 12, actually. I think I got to change the spread here because I don't think the spread isn't right. Like, the number's changing every week. I don't know why it keeps changing every day. So yeah, Dolphins is favored by 12.5, which that's a big number here. You know what? I got the Dolphins winning this game. I mean, the Dolphins, they're just a more complete team. They're at home. And I just think they just had the better coaching staff and had the better quarterback. Look, the Giants suck. Like, they stink. Like, I have no trust in the Giants right now because this team sucks. Like, they can't run the ball. Their offensive line, they cannot block. They cannot protect. The defense is, the defense is not great. Like, yeah, Daniel Jones outplayed Geno, but the defense is not great. Like, like, the defense is not playing as really good. They're giving up big plays. Like, their defense, I mean, they can stop the run, I guess, but I don't think they can stop the pass that good. Martindale has not had a good game plan. Neither Daboll hasn't had a good game plan. Like, if you look at that game against the Seahawks last week, the Giants, the Seahawks really made a lot of sacks, but not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, not nine, not 10, but 11 sacks. I mean, the Seahawks defense had 11 sacks against the Giants, against Daniel Jones. They sacked Daniel Jones 11 times. Like, this is crazy. I've never seen a team that made 11 sacks in a game. Like, you gotta be kidding me. So, obviously, the Dolphins should be able to get back on track, after, coming off a blowout loss against the Bills. I think they get back on track so far because we know last week the defense didn't really play as good because they gave up a lot of big plays, and Josh Allen outplayed Tua. Especially the offense wasn't really looking good until like the second half. The offense was bad, and the defense was bad all game. So yeah, I think the Dolphins do a good job playing better on both sides of the ball. But Teron Armstead out kind of sucks. But I think the Dolphins are going to move the ball in this game. They're going to pass the ball more in this game. I think that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are tough to cover. So I think Tua is going to have a big game here. So, yeah, and also this is an East Coast team traveling towards another East Coast team, Miami, where it's a tough place to play at because, Miami's usually good at home where they score a lot of points. And sometimes when it's away, they just don't. So, yeah, I expect the Dolphins to win big and cover big. I'm going to say like 38-10, something like that, because I'm not too confident on the Giants to at least like score like over 10 points. Like, I don't think I'm confident in that, so yeah. So I got the Dolphins to win and the Dolphins to cover. Next game, we have the New Orleans Saints versus the New England Patriots. Obviously, this was a pick'em game for sure. Obviously, the Pats were favorite in this game, and overall, the Saints were favorite. So, obviously, this is a pick'em game, which it can go either way. I call it a track game because I don't really know who to pick here. Most people are kind of really picking the Patriots to win because the Patriots might need this win to get back on track. Some people are picking the Saints to win because, they're a better team. But, obviously, this could go either way, but it's kind of hard to choose. Like, I don't know what to choose from. I think it will be close, though, but I think it will be low-scoring game. But I'm taking the Saints here. And the reason why I'm taking the Saints is because, even though the game's in New England, I think the Saints win this game because I think the Saints I think the Saints are a better version of the Patriots. Because I just don't have no trust. I don't have a lot of faith in the Patriots right now because they can't run the ball really well. Their receivers stink. Like, they can't pass the ball. Mac Jones is like inaccurate. Like the O-line is not good. The defense is like it's fine, but it's not really as good. Like I don't think the defense is as good as it has been. Like the defense dealing with some injuries. Matt Judon is going to be out for 2 months. Gonzalez is out for the rest of the year. So I expect Judon to come back maybe later this year if everything goes right. But that's a huge blow to that defense. But I think the Saints offense could definitely move the ball. They can do a good enough, moving the ball. And all of a sudden, I like the Saints receivers more than the Patriots receivers. I think Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, they could all have a good game here. Alvin Kamara is going to do a good job running the football. I think Derek Carr is going to have some time here, and I think he's going to have good moments in this game. And I think the Saints defense is going to win this game here. I think their defensive line is going to at least overwhelm this Pats offensive line. Because if the Pats defense give the Saints offense, if Derek Carr some issues, then I think there's a chance that that the Patriots could win this game. But I just kind of really feel like that the Saints get back on track this week. I think the offense does and the defense does, after a big loss against the Bucs. And we understand the past loss to the Cowboys big. But I just have faith in Derek Carr to do this instead of Mac Jones. So, obviously, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, defensive game, but it won't be pretty, but I think it will be ugly. I got the Saints winning this game, but I got the I'm taking the Saints to win, but I'm going to say 17-16, something like that. Like a lower-scoring game, maybe 17-10, something like that, a lower-scoring game. So I'm taking the Saints to win this game, but I'll just go ahead and just take the Saints to cover. I'll take the Pats to cover this game, I guess. If the line changes, maybe. I'll see. All right, next game we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore's favored by 4. So they're favored by 4.5, actually. So basically, I think this game can go either way. When you imagine both these two teams be playing a really good defensive game. Both these two teams struggle to score 20, 30 points a game. I say because here's the thing. The Steelers have, I don't really like how the way the Steelers offense is playing. The offense did not really look good against the Texans, though. The defense didn't really look as good against the Texans because C.J. Stroud just outdueled them. But the news is that Kenny Pickett was on the injury report, but he's expected to play. But the Ravens are getting some of their players back, like OBJ, Rashad Bateman, Marlon Humphrey. Most of them practiced all week, so they could be back. So, yeah. So maybe I could take the Ravens to win, but the game is in Pittsburgh. So I know it's tough that it's in Pittsburgh, and we know Pittsburgh, kind of really. I feel like that's a team where they kind of really that the Ravens are a team that the Steelers usually own, but I'm looking at it saying that the Ravens are a different team on the road, and I think the Steelers, are a different team because they have a really good pass rush, and their offensive line isn't great. But the Ravens defense, but it's hard to say who has a better defense, but I think the Ravens do because I like how the way the Ravens have been really good on defense, especially when they really beat the Browns. They really crushed them. We could definitely see this Ravens defense give the Steelers offense issues because their offensive line is still not great. So obviously I think this game will be close. But I'm calling it upset. I'm taking the Steelers to get back on track this week to get this win because I don't see this team losing 2 games in a row. And Mike Tomlin has really done it. I mean, this Steelers defense does play the Ravens offense really well. Like I think they're gonna give the Ravens offense issues. And I just don't think the Ravens are gonna be able to run the ball. And we know the Steelers really can't run the ball as well. So yeah, so I think this game, even though I think the Ravens are a better team and have a better quarterback, I just think the Steelers, defense is gonna win this game here. So I'm gonna take the Steelers to win this game. So I'm gonna go 19-17, more like a lower scoring game, something like that. Like it's always like that. So yeah. I'm gonna take the Steelers to win this game here, but I'll take the Ravens. I'll take them plus 4.5. All right, next game we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the LA Rams. The Eagles are favored by. They're favored by 4 in this game. Obviously, this game can go either way, but obviously, when I was watching the video, one person picked the Rams to win because Cooper Kupp is coming back. But I don't know if I really want to take the Rams because. But should I? I don't know. I expect this game to be close, and I expect it to be a high-scoring game. But I'm taking the Eagles to win this, even though the game's in LA, even though it's a tough place to play at. I'm taking the Eagles to win this game because the Eagles, they're just a more complete team and have a better quarterback. But here's the thing about the Eagles team. Like, the Eagles defense have not impressed me. They didn't impress me last week because here's the thing. The Eagles' pass defense was the issue though, which they almost lost to the Commanders because their defense couldn't really stop the pass at the end of the game. Like if they would have gotten to overtime and their defense got stopped, the game would have been over. But they got into overtime and all of a sudden their defense started playing good, and then the offense kept it going. So I expect the Rams to keep it close and stay in the game because Matthew Stafford is playing really good right now. But here's the thing. I'm making a bold prediction that Matthew Stafford is going to throw for 350 plus yards. That's where I'm going to that's my bold prediction that he's going to do it with Cooper Kupp coming back. But here's the thing. I think the only way the Eagles can win this game, they're going to have to shut down Cooper Kupp because if they don't shut him down, then Cooper Kupp's going to start getting open and the Eagles D is going to give up big plays after him and all that. So Slay and Kupp is a good matchup. Bradbury and Nacua is a good matchup. So, especially, I don't think the Rams can match up. Especially, this is a bad matchup for the Rams, though, because the Eagles really have kind of owned the Rams. Especially, the Rams' O-line. I'm not a huge fan of their O-line. I still think their O-line is still weak. I think the Eagles' defensive line is going to take advantage of that. Because they know that the issue of the Rams is their O-line, it's their offensive line. And I feel like the weakness of the Rams is kind of their secondary, which I don't think their defense has a lot of talent. So I think the Eagles should be able to move the ball, pass the ball on them. Jalen Hurts can use his legs to make some plays, extend some plays, run around, run, towards the line, past the line of scrimmage and all that. So I'm going to say the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. Those guys are tough to cover, and I don't think the Rams really have any guys in the secondary that can do that. So, by the way, that's why I'm taking the Eagles to win this game, but give me the 4+ points with the Rams. I think the Rams keep this one close in a high-scoring game. I'm going to say maybe 27, 31-27 or 34-31, something like that. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. I'm going to take the Rams to cover plus the 4, but I'm going to take the Eagles to win the game. All right, next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus Arizona Cardinals. Cincinnati's favored by -3. Obviously, both these two teams are 1-3, and one of these teams gonna have to win this week. And you know what? I'm taking the Bengals to win this game because the Bengals are just a more complete team, better quarterback, better coach staff. I mean, what else? I mean, if somebody's like the Cardinals, I mean, they just stink. Like I don't think they're really not on the Bengals level. But yeah, you could argue saying that the Cardinals have been really competitive lately in some of their games because they were able, because they beat the Cowboys because they were able to at least like move the ball on them, and they moved the ball really well against the Niners, but I don't see it happening because whoever picked the Cardinals to win this game, who's ever picking the Cardinals to win this game must be drunk, must be smoking dope, must be on drugs or something like that because it's not happening because the Bengals are going to go in Arizona, they're going to win. And they better get this win this week. They need to win this week or else they're done. Okay, the Bengals need to win this week because if they don't win or cover, then I'll just mark them off the list saying they're done. Okay, because the Bengals, have been disappointing. Like they've been disappointing me for weeks. I don't know because I just can't believe like they really got destroyed by Tennessee because of that defense, and then they got destroyed by the Browns, and then they spoiled a comeback against the Ravens, what they should have won. Then they barely beat the Rams. Like the Bengals need to put some points up. I'm predicting Joe Burrow's going to go for 350 plus yards, and I hope he does. And I hope he outplays Josh Dobbs because I don't think Josh Dobbs is that good. But he's kind of a really good backup. You could argue saying that. So, yeah, I expect the Bengals to win big this game. I'm predicting that the Bengals are going to at least score 30-plus points. I don't think the game will be close. So, I'm saying the Bengals are going to blow them out. So, yeah. So, I think they're going to get back on track, especially they're going to move the ball offensively. Their defense is going to make some plays. So, yeah, I expect the Bengals to win big and cover big because if they don't do this, then they're in trouble. So, yeah. I hope Joe Burrow has a good game and Ja'Marr Chase has a good game here. But I understand that Ja'Marr Chase on his interview always saying that he's always open and all that. I expect a big game from him and Joe Burrow. All right, next game we have the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are favored by 2.5. Now, I call this a trap game for some reason because both these two teams are 1-3, and they both suck like they do. So basically, it's hard to say who's gonna win this game because it's rare to say that Denver has a better quarterback and Denver has a better coach. And then the Jets, they're more talented, they have a better defense, and the Broncos defense is the worst in the unit, and but it's hard to say because both these two teams suck. Because last year when these two teams played, I think the Jets won. This is when Russell Wilson was out. But obviously, it's hard to say. But I understand in Denver and Mile High is a tough place to play at, and we understand that it's across the country. But I'm taking the Jets. I'm taking the Jets to win this game because the Jets, I just like their talent more. I just like their roster more. I just feel like they're more talented, and especially, they have the better defense than the Broncos because the Broncos defense stinks. And I feel like Zach Wilson last week, what I saw from him, he kind of outplayed Mahomes last week. Zach Wilson kind of played really good, but he just lost to just that game because there were too many penalties on them. and that allowed the Chiefs to win that game. But I think the Jets are going to get back on track this week to win this game because now we understand Denver came off a window, and we understand Russ is playing really well right now, especially the offense playing really well, putting points on the board. But I think the Jets win because I think Zach Wilson is gonna do enough to make some plays against that Broncos defense, especially against the Broncos secondary, which I think is not really good. So I just kind of really feel like that. I just think the defense of the Broncos might make some plays, but I feel like Denver's defense is gonna stay in the game. But at least their defense, it's been playing okay, but their pass defense has not been really playing so good because here's the thing. Their defense gave up like over 300 plus yards against the Bears, and Fields had a good game, but especially they still won the game. Especially because their defense kind of stopped. I mean, they can stop the run, I guess, but I don't think they can stop the pass. The Jets can I feel like the Jets do a good job stopping the run, and they can do a good job defending the pass. So they haven't been really bad against the pass or the run lately. So yeah, I don't think Denver's gonna have an answer for Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazar, or those weapons. I think those guys have a good game here. Breece Hawk might have a monster game here. The Jets, I feel like they're gonna do a good job running the ball. Like the offensive line is gonna set some play action, control the Broncos D line. And I think the Jets defensive line can get some pressure and give the Broncos O line some issues. Because I think the Broncos offensive line, I feel like their offensive line is very suspect, and yeah, because they have the secondary, to cover Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy to cover those guys. So I expect a defensive game here. So I'm expecting a low scoring game like last time. So I'm gonna take the Jets to win this game, but I'm gonna take the Jets to cover as well. So I'm gonna say 20 to 17, 17-13, something like that, more like a lower scoring game. So yeah, so I got the Jets to win and Jets to cover. Where next game we have the Chiefs versus the Minnesota Vikings. Chiefs are favored by 3.5. Now obviously, this game right here can go either way because we know Minnesota's a tough place to play at though. But I expect this game to be a high scoring game. I expect it to be super close, but I got the Chiefs in this game because even though it's in Minnesota, I got the Chiefs win this game because the Chiefs are the more complete team and have the better quarterback, better coaching staff, and all that. And they have the better old line, they have the better defense. I just think the Vikings, I was impressed with how the offense played, but Kirk Cousins got outplayed by Bryce Young. Because Kirk Cousins didn't really play that good because he only had 139 yards. I think he has a better passing game, though, because the Vikings couldn't really pass the ball as much. I think they're going to do it in this game. And I'm predicting that Kirk Cousins is going to throw for at least 300 plus yards or maybe 350 plus yards like he did the last couple of weeks because Kirk Cousins is playing really good right now. And I'm predicting Mahomes is going to have 350 plus yards. So I expect this game to be high scoring game right there. I'm predicting that the Chiefs and Vikings both score 30 plus points. So yeah, and I just think they have the better defense because their defense. I just kind of feel like with their young secondary, I think they'll find a way to find their matchups against the Vikings receivers, and I think their defense can do a good job stopping the run, stopping the Vikings run game. The Chiefs couldn't really stop the run last week because Breece Hall went off. And especially the offense was definitely not playing really good against the Jets despite them winning because, guys weren't getting open. Mahomes was throwing 2 picks and all that. The offense wasn't great until the end when they about to score. They ended up, started to get it going and accept those penalties and all that, and that allowed them to win the game. So I don't think it's going to happen again. So I expect to keep it close. I'm going to say 34-31, something like that. So, or 31-27. So give me the Chiefs to win, but give me the points with the Vikings. I think the Vikings cover this game to keep it close and competitive, though. So yeah, like I said, Minnesota's gonna find a way to move the ball, especially defensively. They're gonna do enough like they did last week. Like I think they'll do enough to confuse Mahomes and all that. So yeah, with Brian Flores' scheme. So yeah, but I don't think it's gonna work in this game. So basically, I'm gonna take Minnesota to cover, but the Chiefs will win the game. Next game, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus San Francisco 49ers. Niners are favored by 3.5. Obviously, this is a game right here that can go either way. But obviously, now one person picked the Cowboys to win this game because they think Dallas can get their revenge on the Niners because of their loss. But I just kind of really feel like, I think it will be close, but I'm taking the Niners though. Like I just think the Niners are just a more complete team here. And I just feel like, their offense is way more balanced than the Cowboys because I feel like the Cowboys offense, is kind of vanilla and, they're not making explosive plays and all that. So, yeah. Dak Prescott is kind of not playing really good, but the defenses is playing really good. I like the talent of the defense, but I just kind of really feel like that the Niners, are going to move the ball really well against the Cowboys defense like they did it, like the Cardinals did against the Cowboys. I think Brock Purdy might make some plays here, especially, that Brandon Ayuk is uncoverable. He's gonna make some plays, and we know Debo's gonna make some plays, and we know that Kittle's gonna make some plays. So I feel like the Niners offensively can like at least expose the weakness of the Cowboys, which is their linebacking position. So yeah, I just don't think Dallas has enough corners to cover those guys because of Diggs being out. So yeah. So I feel like the Niners offensively is probably gonna win their matchups against that Cowboys secondary. I think they'll win their matchups. But I don't think the Cowboys will because the Niners secondary is pretty good. Like their pass defense is really good. They do a good job stopping the pass. I just think, Ward and Lamb is a good matchup, and then Hufanga. They don't really have a tight end, but I just think that the Niners defense is going to make some stops in this game. I think their defense makes more stops in this game. And I feel like Kyle Shanahan's going to see that Dan Quinn is going to like he's going to be motivated to like have a good game plan against Dan Quinn's defense. And Steve Wilkes has been a really good D coordinator as well. He's starting to have a good game plan, starting to confuse quarterbacks. But I feel like there's a way that Dan Quinn can confuse Brock Purdy, but I don't know. Because the Niners' offensive line is really, really darn good. And I think they're going to do enough to control the Cowboys' pass rush. And I think they're going to run the ball. And I think CMC is going to post some numbers. Like, he's gonna be a mismatch for this game. Like, he's going to be a game changer in this game. And yeah, especially defensively, I think they're going to find a way to at least, like, slow down the Cowboys' offense. Because Dallas sometimes can't really run the balls really good. So I think that allows the Niners' defense to like slow down their offense as well. So I think it might be a little bit of a defensive game, but I don't know. I'm gonna say that I'm taking the Niners to win because they're at home, better coaching staff, they're a more complete team, and I think Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than Dak, to be honest. So yeah, I got the Niners to win, but give me the 3.5 points with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys keep it close here, competitive. And I think they're going to stay in the game because of how good their defense is. So, yeah, I got the Cowboys to win. I mean, yeah, I'm saying this is a classic game from years ago, and it's a rematch playoff from a year ago and 2 years ago. So, yeah, should be a good game to watch. But I understand last year when these two teams played, it was a little bit of a defense game. But I can see it again. But I'm predicting that Dallas is going. Yeah, this will be the best game of the week. So, yeah. I'm going to say Niners win at least by 3 or 4, like maybe 24-20 or 27-24, something like that. But here's the thing. If the Niners get up early, they could definitely blow the Cowboys out. So, yeah, that's how I can see it. So, basically, I'm taking the Cowboys plus 3.5, but giving the Niners to win the game. And finally, last game, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are favored by 1. Now, Green Bay was favored at first, but the line just changed, and now the Raiders are favored in this game. But the game go either way because the game's in Las Vegas. But I really don't want to take Green Bay to win and all that because the game's in Las Vegas. I mean, I really want to pick the Raiders though. But I also heard that Jimmy G's playing this week, but Devontae Adams is questionable to play because he's on the injury report. Let's see, Jair on the Packers injury report. He's questionable to play, but if we see Jair Alexander and Devontae Adams both play, so I think that will be a matchup though. That will be their matchup. Obviously, I think this game will be close, but I know the game's in Vegas though. But I'm taking the Packers here. I think they get back on track this week. You know, I understand Aaron Rodgers not there, but I think Green Bay wins because Green Bay, they're a more complete team, better coaching staff. And I just kind of really feel like that, they just have the better defense. Like, I don't think the Raiders' defense is as good. Like, I have no trust in the Raiders. Like, I think the Raiders' defense is completely the worst in the unit. And I think they're offensively, I don't think they're moving the ball as great. So, yeah, I think the Packers' defense could have a game here. I think their defense can win this game. Because, they have the pass rush to at least get after Jimmy G. And I think their defensive line can definitely find a way to at least give the Raiders offense some issues and all that. I think they'll find a way to stop the run. And I think their secondary can do enough to at least cover the Raiders receiving cores and all that. Especially I think offensively, the Raiders don't really have anybody in the secondary that can cover Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs or Aaron Jones. Like those guys, the weakness of the Raiders is their pass rush. Like their linebacking position is their weakness. Yeah. So I think Green Bay should do enough to move the ball. Especially they should do enough to move. They should be able to do enough to move the ball against them, especially against a Raiders defense, which is not great. So they should be able to do that. So I feel like they should be able to put some numbers. And I feel like Jordan Love's going to have success here. So, yeah. I think it will be closer, though. But if Green Bay gets up early, they could definitely blow the Raiders out. So, yeah. I'm going to say they do keep it close. So, I don't know if the Raiders can keep up. So, I'm going to say the Packers win 27-23 or 27-16, something like that. So, yeah. I'm going to take or it's 23-20. So, yeah. I got the Packers to win and the Packers to cover. Well, all right, guys. Those are all my Week 5 predictions for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below what you guys think of my Week 5 predictions. Do you think I could be wrong? Do you think I could be right? Just let me know in the comments section below what you guys think about your predictions for Week 5. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Don't forget, thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video as well. And also, I'll see you guys later. Peace.